Back on Sports Overtime. On the set, you will see at Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Sunday morning for our pre-race Indy 500 coverage. But for now, we've got Bruce Martin of Speed Sport here to talk all about Carb Day. And Bruce, it finished with Scott Dixon at the top once again. I mean, surprise, surprise, Dixon the fastest of the day.
Gee, imagine that. It seems like that's been the way Carb Day's ended here for about the last 12 years.
Yeah.
I asked him in the press conference afterwards on Carb Day, I said, going back all the way back to the Dario days, it seems like either he or Dario Franchitti finished first or second here on Carb Day. I asked him if that's a good bellwether for the race. He goes, not at all. Which really, I think it does. I think it really does show that they're peaking at the right time. Now, once 200-lap race begins, anything can happen. But you would have to really think that he's in an excellent position right now to challenge for his second Indianapolis 500 victory.
I think you probably have to feel a lot better if you're Team Penske after today than they did after qualifying. I mean, to have 4 cars in the top 6, that's a far cry from what we saw when that boost was turned up. Now that the boost is down, we saw something again from them.
As Iowa football coach Hayden Fry used to say, what a surprise, what a surprise. I don't think anybody's really surprised to think that in race trim, Team Penske would be one of the cars battling here on Carb Day. The difference is going to be they have to come from deep in the field on race day in order to become contenders. That's going to be a real show, especially for Will Power, who's coming all the way back from the 11th row. He's going to have to put on a little bit of a Tasmanian devil act in order to fight and claw his way up there. But he says you got to be a little cool. You can't do it all at once, can't be overly aggressive. But Will Power is going to put on a show.
Do you think that the race itself has the chance to be pretty showy, to be good racing for the fans? Because today, when it's chilly, we saw a lot of passing. We saw a lot of guys make moves that even some might say were a little sketchy for the day. Connor Daly was less than happy with Santino Ferrucci, for example. But do you think that it will be a good race day where fans will enjoy?
I think up front it's going to be a lot better race than we've seen the last couple of years. And a lot of drivers predicted that. They believe that first and second is going to have the ability to pass a lot. Any further back than that will be a guess, but I think that it will be tighter in the top 5. I don't know how far back you can go. Maybe 3 or 4 has an opportunity to get in there and mix it up. It also depends on how much 3 and 4 in line start racing each other, or if they're able to form a draft to get by the 2 cars in front of them. But I do think they're going to race much closer at the front and have more passing at the front than we've seen the last couple of years.
And 2 drivers we didn't see near the top of the charts today are guys that will start on the front row alongside Dixon, Colton Herta, Rinus VeeKay. But both of them, when they got out of their cars down on pit lane, they sounded very happy with their cars. Just seemed like they were doing something different today than Dixon and maybe Power, Pagano, whatever were doing. They were a little bit more back in the field and working through traffic, and they said they're very happy with what they had.
Well, today was a great day to find out how good your car is in traffic. And with the cooler conditions, it's going to be a lot different than what we saw the opening week here at practice when it was really hot, high 80s, high humidity. This is going to be cool, crisp. It's going to be like a IU Purdue football game. So bring a jacket.
Who's your favorite for this weekend? Obviously, a lot of people are going to pick Scott Dixon, rightfully so. He's been at or near the top of the speed charts since the beginning of practice on Tuesday. But what do you think can happen in this race?
I put the jinx on him every year, but it is very hard to pick against Scott Dixon.
It just is, yeah.
It's just so hard. It's his race to lose. Now, I'm not saying it's a sure thing, because there's a lot of drivers out there who have a pretty good chance. Colton Herta, Rinus VeeKay. I mean, the field is so deep with talent. But I really think that Scott Dixon has got to be considered the favorite entering the race.
And Bruce, we'll certainly gladly take a little rain outside Indianapolis Motor Speedway right now. If it means we're going to have a clear Sunday, it's going to be a gorgeous day here.
Oh, it is. Thanks to Brian Wilkes for the excellent forecast. Bring the sunscreen or else you're going to get your forehead burned like I did on poll day.
Our Chris Hagan always has to watch out for that as well. A little burning action here. But, of course, if we're under here inside the media center or underneath the awning in the media center, we're okay. Once again, to remind you to come back here on Sunday morning. Race day coverage beginning early in the day, leading you up to the race itself. It's going to be a great day for the Indy 500 on Sunday at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's head back to the Fox 59 studio, hear from JoJo Gentry on what's coming up next on Sports Overtime.